Welcome to Rap in Order, the interrogation of a hip-hop album, where we take some of the culture's most beloved hip-hop albums, put them on the stand, see if they stood the test of time. Now let's see who we got on the stand today.
Dun dun.
Welcome to another episode of Rap in Order. I'm First Class Regg.
Woo! It's Taurian B.
And we're joined by that Aviles guy.
I wasn't expecting that. Sorry, guys.
Nobody was. And today we're getting into the fourth studio album from T.I.P. It was released in 2006. You have production on here from Manny Fresh, Just Blaze, DJ Tonk, Swiss Beats, The Neptunes, Travis Barker. And it was a very prominent, standout release for T.I. because, you know, this year he had the ATL movie come out and he had this album come out, and I believe they were both number one at the same time. So he was really, really big out here at this time. He was, I want to say, the biggest artist in rap at that time. Nobody was bigger than T.I. in this time frame. I mean, he couldn't lose.
This is right after he lost Falant too, right?
Yes, it is. What was your takeaway from this album, and what do you remember from this time?
I remember the whole shootout that happened. I remember finally, because at first I had it taken. I was like, yo, you can't claim king because I have the whole like mentality, New York mentality, old school rap. In order to be the king, you have to kill the king. So I felt like he never went after the king to really be the king.
Who killed Rakim?
I feel like Rakim died out himself over time, so somebody had to pick it up. That's a different story.
I don't think so.
Like, well, I feel like, for example of that is when Nas and Big were sending shots at each other, that was over claiming the crown. When Jay finally said the city is mine, it was him claiming the crown after that. So I felt like it was...
And a lot of people, like, spoke it. I'm sorry, or I'm already starting it off spicy. But, like, when Jay said that, a lot of people was like, nigga, no. Like, only reason you got it is because Biggie died. Like, people, like, there was whispers. Like, nobody was, like, fully agreeing with it or whatever like that. Nas just didn't care to proclaim it. Like, and, like, just didn't give a fuck. But, it was just as much backlash when Jay said the city is mine as when T.I. said it.
But then when anybody wanted it, he would throw those shots back.
Okay,
and that was
and what did T.I. do?
But that's what I'm saying. T.I. had to come to realize, if you... listen to what I was saying before, this is when I came to that realization, is literally how I started my whole statement out. So can I finish my statement before I get cut off?
Well, I apologize. I just usually go second. So I was just like, damn, I'm supposed to be talking right now. So I was anxious.
He looked at me. I'm sorry. I couldn't help it.
Go ahead.
So no, this is around the time where I finally started understanding how people viewed T.I. and why they viewed him that way. I always liked T.I., but I always, because I'm such a Scarface fan, I kind of always felt it was disrespect to Scarface for him claiming king, until Scarface said, I don't give a fuck about that, which was cool. And I was like, all right, the king don't care, then cool. But then around this time also, it was consistent hits from T.I. and consistent albums of great shit that I was finally like, all right, nah, he's the king. And when he titled it king, it was like, all right, you earned it. This is you fully sitting in the throne and feeling comfortable in it. And I get it now.
What was your thoughts?
Thank you. I can go now? Thanks. This was T.I.'s, like, his victory lap. This was when he was at, like, his height. Also, at this time, he was filming American Gangster.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, he was just at his height. He couldn't get no bigger. This was when, like, remember when Jay-Z was on tour with R. Kelly and, like, the big fight broke out, and then, like, Jay-Z, like, all his guests that he had come out and perform with him and shit, like, he had T.I. on tour with him. And T.I. was like, yo, like, I can't continue. I gotta go do my own thing. And Jay was like, nah. Like, Jay really, like, was, like, vetting. Like, this was around the same time when he was trying to sign with Wayne. He also was trying to book a deal with T.I. because he had a relationship at Atlantic, and T.I. was like, absolutely not. Like, I got Grand Hustle, I'm my own man, but I really respect you and I really appreciate it, right? So I just thought that it was really dope that he was able to like have that relationship with Jay at this time and be able to look at Jay-Z in the eye and say no. Like that takes some balls, right? Like I get, like Wayne made sense. T.I. that's how I was like, he's crazy. But I get it, right? T.I. really, 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 really paid it forward and earned the name King of the South. And I'll say, when he lived in Atlanta, like he would literally do shit like pull up at Athlete's Foot and like buy people sneakers. Like he'll be buying sneakers or whatever like that, and like obviously he wouldn't be getting people Jordans, but like he would get people Air Force Ones. It's just like sneakers to go back to school, like, and that just goes like a long way. Like some of my friends made jokes like, I think ain't buying no Jordans, but it's just like he's buying sneakers,
for
people in the public. Like he was a homegrown product. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like T.I. was in the newspaper when he was a kid for bringing drugs to school. And then I believe like he brought like a weapon. I don't know if it was a knife or a gun or some shit like that. Like he's like infamously known. He went to Doug High School. He didn't finish, but you know what I'm saying. Like that's also where Killer Mike went to school at. So I just think that like he was like such a representation of Atlanta and a representation. Like I'm talking about in 2006. I know like we're also going to get into a lot of things that have like progressed over time. But like at this time, like this man like. Danny said and Reggie said he could do no wrong at this point in time. Like I remember, like I was even like asking myself, like, yo, is T.I. my favorite rapper in 2006? Like he was doing that well, and he was extremely confident. And there's a song that we will get to when we get to it, and I will talk about that because I'm very, very excited to talk about that song. I'm very anxious. I'm gonna be honest with you. I really love this album. And I really, really wanted to get to it. Like I got a bunch of fucking notes, y'all. I'm ready.
All right, so album kicks off with King Back. King Back is produced by Just Blaze. It has this Kill Bill type feel to it, right?
Blaxploitation.
Yeah, and strong opening, strong. I think I don't know where that sample's from in the beginning, and the prophecy read that one day, like that shit is like very Gladiator-esque. I forget where it's from though.
I have to hear it.
Yeah, but yeah, it's a very strong opening. Is what you expect from T.I. at this time, you know.
I loved it. Sounds like his black superhero music. It sounds like music that would, and Just Blaze is really good at doing that because he's done it for Jay-Z multiple times, and I really think that this exact production moment was the predecessor. There you go. Thank you. Reg said it for him making Heavy as the Head.
Yeah. Okay, I could see that.
Like I think when he made Trouble Man.
Yeah.
Like I think that like that Just Blaze's production kind of put him in that mood to do that kind of style. The way that he does it, because it's very cinematic, and it kind of gives you that feel. Is like what like Ghostface did with like Fish Scale.
Yeah.
So it's very similar, and I think that's like the kind of mode that he was in. Yeah, I'm locked in, y'all.
I think off rip it was like I said, it was the first time accepting him. So when he started it off with that's the title of the track, and then came in, and at the time Just Blaze himself could probably do no wrong around that time, and just hearing him, I always feel like Just Blaze is just a New York sound. So my New York bias, definitely hearing an artist from Atlanta that I'm really liking that's really like rapping his ass off too. Jumping on a New York beat to me was automatically, all right, let's go. Yeah,
and T.I. has always had an affinity for the East Coast.
His father's from New York.
Yeah, so he's always embraced that sound.
So I don't know. So let's see. The sample is from Ray the Funky Trumpet, and the song is called "String of the Serpent." The sample.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just Googled it just to make sure. Yeah.
So damn, I forget what I was gonna say.
My bad.
Oh, but I do remember when I first got my hands on this album. It was because I was working at CVS at the time, and I was on the register, and my brother came in, and I was like right on the first register. He came in and just like reached over the register and like handed me the album and like dapped me up and just walked out. And I was like,
Siobhan?
yeah. And I was like, all right, bet. Because he went and bought 2 copies. So I was like, bet. I know this is some shit. And like, he didn't even say anything about it.
What's even
He
funnier
just
is
gave
more
it to
that
me.
comes off like, yo, little brother, leave my shit alone.
Well, yeah, that's what that is too. That's what that is too. But that takes us in the front back, which features UGK. I always took this song as sort of an homage to UGK and the Houston sound, because this is absolutely what that is actually. Like and the production, the sample of it. T.I. on these type of beats is always like it always goes for me.
To me, this was T.I. putting
Front
the final.
back.
This was T.I. putting the final nail in the coffin of the beef with him and Lil Flip, like letting him know like all of your OGs respect me and we on the same level, and they also know that I laid claim to this shit. And the funny thing is probably the only person that probably would have spoken out against him with the King of the South shit was Pimp C, and Pimp C spoke on it, and then him and T.I. spoke in private, and everything was fine.
Look, I think that's exactly what it is. I think that's the biggest fuck you to Lil Flip. I really agree. I feel like the features in here add to the whole King shit. It's very important, the features he
concise,
has when you go look at it. He has greats from the South on here. People you don't necessarily want to just jump on a track with, especially calling yourself King. And he did. And he's also, I feel like, the fact that it's the second song, and throughout T.I.'s entire discography, you can hear the significant UGK influence in his music. To do it this way was like, all right, let's go. It's all the static, all the spice, just like T said, and I was here for every second of it.
Also, I know like Pimp C always gets like the love and the admiration, but I really have never ever heard a whack Bun B verse.
Nope.
That I can name. Like maybe I might need to like dive deeper into some of the albums, but every time I hear Bun B, like he's on point, he's sharp. It's kind of like how like Big Boy is with Outkast, where like Andre 3000 is like the really like musically inclined electric one, but like Big Boy is solid. Like all right, you're gonna get a solid verse. He's gonna come through and get the job done. Bun B does the same thing, and I love it. And I'm like, I really like his voice too. He got that like baritone voice where he just come in like, who you know about? Like he just started off like
that's
that.
That's why
it's super old school and it's super like, I don't know. I can't listen to too much Bun B because he does this thing that I don't like, where like his
it's his twang in his accent.
No, I love that. I'm talking about like his shit. What's the double voice thing? His ad libs. His ad libs are super repetitive. I hate that. I don't like that. But I love Bun B, but I can't take too much of that.
I feel like the beauty of them is the contrast in both their voices together. And if you really think about it, they're probably some of the first Southern lyrical drug dealer rappers.
Nah, some of the first they are.
They are the first. There's nobody. What year did Master P drop out?
They came out before Master P.
What about Ghetto Boys?
They came out before the Ghetto Boys.
Well, Ghetto Boys was more storytelling and not so much drug dealing, and specifically.
Scarface talked about drug dealing, but the Ghetto Boys were like NWA of the South.
Yeah, it was.
It was UGK.
Oh yeah, because Pocket Full of Stones, '92. So.
No, I'm sorry. So no, the Ghetto Boys came out first, but they weren't talking about selling drugs. First person, the ones that came out talking about selling drugs and shit like that was UGK. And A-Ball, some people say A-Ball and MJG get credit too.
Yeah.
But like, it's like they weren't like working like they were working at the same time, but like they weren't aware of each other like that until like they started going on tour and doing the Chitlin circuit. But UGK was the first ones rapping about selling drugs.
UGK. So after Front Back, it takes us into What You Know. What You Know is produced by DJ Tump. And What You Know, in my opinion, is one of the greatest hip-hop crossover songs ever.
Yeah.
It's not a song that was supposed to work on radio, in my opinion. It's just the hook is just so catchy. But what he's talking about, he was able to make it a crossover appeal because the hook is just all in the hook. But the production, the moving work, I feel like this, what's this, 2006? 2006, you didn't have, I don't think we had much content like this on the radio back then. We didn't, actually.
I think this song absolutely was a radio record. This song was the first record off the album.
Yeah, it was a single.
Yeah.
But I'm saying in the context of it, it didn't. What you know about that? He's moving weight, like, but it was a super.
Thing.
And
it was braggadocious. The way he talked about it,
this
referring to
this song promoted the movie
and the album.
Like it did double duty. Like this song was played so much. Granted, like I was living in Atlanta, but when I would come home to visit New York at this time, like I heard this song all the time.
Yes.
Like nonstop. And then ATL was coming out, right? And that's a movie that's based off Dallas Austin's life when he was younger. So I'm just like, fuck, like this song is everywhere. Like I loved it, but then I got tired of it because it got played so much.
Yes. There was after a year of this song being out, I didn't need to hear this song for like 6-7 years because it was
it was white kids on TRL
everywhere.
Like loading knapsack where I'm loading all the work at.
Yeah.
Ringtones. Yeah, ringtone era.
I mean, this was the ringtone, the end of the ringtone era, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, man, this was a great fucking song, and like T said, it served double duty. What's up? You trying to get to the next one? So yeah, What You Know went double platinum, super huge success for T.I., and we'll get to the next song. Next song is I'm Talking to You. I'm Talking to You is produced by Just Blaze. This song has a lot of different targets that were never confirmed.
I got the confirmation.
And it filmed in the confirmation's front yard or like his area, his specific neighborhood?
I think you're right.
Well, who are y'all saying is the confirmation?
You want to go at the same time?
Because I think it was. I mean, honestly, I think there's different targets. So like, there's Rick Ross.
I think there's two.
I think there's three.
There's only two. Rick Ross and Wayne was tongue in cheek. He was playing with Wayne because him and Wayne are like sparring partners. They're friends.
Okay. Yeah. So I think but there was a Wayne Dart.
Yeah. There was a Wayne. That's what I'm saying. That's why I said Wayne was included in it because people were calling Wayne that because Wayne was going crazy with the mixtapes at that time.
And so there's people still say there's Low Flip on there, but the common consensus is that is Rick Ross.
Yeah.
In 2006.
Yeah. I didn't know it was Wayne. I thought it was Rick Ross and Shorty Low.
Nah. This one wasn't for Shorty Low. Because he didn't even, at this time, he had an interview on the, oh man, I'm so mad. It's a down south podcast that I actually like, and I can't think of the name right now. DJ Scream has it. I forgot the name of it, but on there he talked about it. He didn't realize until after this album came out, because Shorty Low had a song that's dissing him.
Yeah, that's why.
But he didn't. T.I. didn't know that. Like they were in the club. Shorty Low dapped him up, and he went on the stage and performed it. And his partner was like, "Yo, this nigga dissing you. Like, why are you dapping this nigga up?" Like T.I. didn't catch it.
I didn't even know that.
This project was already out.
Big Facts.
There you go, Big Facts podcast. He wanted shout out to Big Facts podcast. He went to Big Facts podcast, and he was talking about how like they was in the club together. Shorty Low dapped him up like it was nothing. Went on the stage and proceeded to diss him. But that song came out after this album came out. For King, what happened is that there was a song that Kanye West produced called "I'm Just Doing My Job."
Yeah.
And Rick Ross had the song, but this was when he was on the come up. A lot of people don't know Rick Ross and like Kanye. Like the reason why they're so close is because they worked a lot together when they were on the come up before. When Rick Ross was a ghostwriter, Kanye was just an unknown producer. T.I. heard that track and got it immediately and took it from Ross. Ross proceeded to diss him, so then T.I. was just like, yo, I'm just going to light this nigga up. But Ross had Hustlin' about to come out, so then, a few years later, I forgot which album, but it's Maybach Music 3. They interviewed Ross, and they asked him about it, and he was like, I dissed...
Teflon.
He said, I had to put everything to the side with T.I. He said, because when I dissed him, I didn't know him yet. He said, but once I got to know him, I realized I probably could have just reached out to him and spoke to him about it like a man. But at that time, I was new coming into the game, and I was trying to feed my family with the music.
Yeah.
But I just think...
He had a line on this song that pretty much confirmed that it was Ross, or at least like taking a shot at Ross momentarily, where he said, I know you want to be just like me since you got your new deal, nigga, but I don't give a fuck if you like me. No second dish, you're not Trill, nigga. Yeah. So like, Triller, like that was an album that Ross had that was coming at that time. And like you said, Doing My Job was supposed to go to Ross. But Damn, I love that fucking song too. I wonder how Ross would have sounded
Ross,
on that.
oh my god, magnificent! I don't know though, because he wasn't
He wasn't rapping.
He wasn't Rose yet.
Yeah. It still would have been glorious though, but yeah.
So that leads us into Live in the Sky. Beautifully written. It's produced by Jamie Foxx. I mean, it features Jamie Foxx on the vocals. An ode to his friend that he lost in this.
Falant.
In this same year span.
In Cincinnati.
I think they like shot the van that he was in.
Yeah, like it was something that happened at a club in Cincinnati. Like apparently, like in Ohio, like a lot of artists get like. Obviously, as we heard from Cameron, they get a lot of money because it's a lot of show money and there's a lot of drug money out there. And T.I. was in Cincinnati a lot, and I think like he got into it with some locals, and it was like a consistent beef. And then this one particular night, things just went really wrong, and he lost his bodyguard / best friend.
I was following this case like a lot because I used to go on Soul.com. Shout out to Soul.com.
So.
They used to cover this shit like day in and day out about like who's willing to tell what information they know, and they were saying that T.I. wasn't cooperating the way that they wanted him to, and like it was a big mess.
Yeah, it was a mess. This was the second time something like this happened to a rapper's bodyguard, where like and the rapper like knew firsthand exactly what happened and wouldn't speak. Busta Rhymes, same thing happened, and there were multiple people on that set when that happened.
Quick question: was it? I think it's Bring 'Em Out where he talks about like they would go to Phil's house to eat, because like Phil, if you listen to it, Phil is so important to Tip that you hear him throughout the earlier albums be mentioned specifically.
I don't think it was on Bring 'Em Out, but he definitely talks about Big
like I forgot. There's a specific song where he starts off the day hanging out with Phil, and then at the end they're all going to Phil's restaurant to eat.
Oh, I don't know what song that is, but
I gotta look it up. I forgot which one, but yeah, like when. I've always spoken how like I enjoy when rappers kind of feel like they let you into their crew, and when they talk about their crew, like, oh, we should just know who it is and understand it eventually. As
if
fans,
you're a fan, you just know.
Yeah, like Phil was one of those. So when we found out he passed away, it was like, oh shit. And then subsequently, like the chain of events that go down with T.I. after, it was such a prominent event in his life, his career, and still to this day has affected him.
Yeah, it was a lot. This song, for me, like I can't listen to it.
Yeah, no, I can't listen to songs like this that much, but I do like how this is in the vein of, what's the other song he has, Dead and Gone, with Justin Timberlake. Beautifully written songs. Like T.I. is a great writer, like. But excellent. Yeah, I can't listen to songs like this. They're such downers, man, and like
I can't do it.
Yeah, I can't get into it.
I find
but
it
I do
weird
commend.
When they become singles.
Yeah.
Like,
and this was a single too.
Yeah, because even Crossroads is like, it's an amazing song. It sticks with you. But I guess because we're so young, for me, and I didn't understand it was about. Specifically his uncle. I mean, even though he says his uncle's name on it, as a kid, I didn't process that the same as when you're older. At this point, I'm 19, 20, I've had friends die. So I understand what that is, as opposed to, being a kid and just hearing that. So now it's like, I don't want to hear a song, and I don't want to be out and about and hear this. I don't want to be having a good day and it just comes on the radio.
I guess at the same time, it depends on how it's marketed too, though, right? Because people have all fields of emotion, so you want to have music that taps into every emotion. So like sadness is one of them. So if they're going through something, it might help somebody out there too.
Yeah, absolutely. Just for me, like this song is too sad. Like,
it is. So we'll go right into Ride With Me. Ride With Me is produced by Keith Mack. Love this song. It's a classic T.I. song for me. Classic thump to it.
Absolutely.
I don't think it gets talked about enough in his catalog, like as one of those singles. I always liken it back to, again, it came out around the same time as ATL, but they used to use this song a lot for the promo of ATL. That's how I remember it.
I love this song because T.I. has a really good way, and all right, so tell me if it's because like I live down there, but T.I. has a really good way of making you feel like you in the car with him when he's describing like different streets in the different counties and different areas of Atlanta. Yeah, he says it, and like because like I live down there, I know where he's talking about going and where he's going. And then I'm just like, yo, this dude is nice because he's actually saying the proper directions.
Yeah.
How to get to these places, like,
Yeah.
what town you have to go through. So I just think it's really dope because it's just like, I remember like when some of my friends came down to Atlanta, they was like, yo, I want to go to Bankhead. I was like, you don't want to go to Bankhead. No, you don't.
Yeah, it's not a. But yeah, that's the.
You know, like I'm like, I'll take you to Buckhead. I won't take you to Bankhead.
That's the good and the bad thing about when rappers popularize where they're from, because to them, it's not that they're glorifying it; they're telling their truth. But now their truth is in the masses, so like people want to go see these places and see what it's about, and it's like. No, because people.
It's like when white people come over here to take the Big L picture.
Yeah.
The Big L memorial picture and shit.
Yeah. So
don't do
that's
that.
the thing. And, New York is more familiar with that than any city, I think. Like, everywhere that rappers talk about, like, people want to go visit Marcy projects and shit. And it's like, okay, but, like, they popularize all that shit. But I do understand the importance of doing that because you have people from those places that identify with that shit.
I mean, a big thing of it too. For example, there was a street artist, who was going around taking lyrics of specific locations. He did it in Atlanta too, I believe, and he would go to those locations and actually post the lyric on the exact spot.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about because he
that?
did it on Headland in the Low. In Atlanta with Andre 3000 was talking about no elevators.
Yeah,
I know exactly what you're talking about.
And I just feel like it kind of created this scavenger hunt thing, which I felt was also really dangerous for people who don't know these neighborhoods. And there's like an infatuation like, yo, if you believe this person in the music and you believe what they're saying is true to the point you want to go to these places, why the fuck would you actually want to go to these places? It makes no sense.
I get what you're saying, thinking from that standpoint, but these people are just fans and they just want to go somewhere with someone.
It's like
prime example, there's people that literally go. There's a tour that goes to Marcy Projects, and people take a picture in front of the Marcy Projects.
Yeah.
I find it hilarious because I work not too far from the Marcy Projects now, and it's like, yo, I remember Marcy Projects in high school. Like, I wasn't going out there just by myself with nobody I didn't know.
People just be wanting to go to Compton. People like all of that shit. There's a good and bad to all of it. Yeah, I was just gonna say that. Yeah, as soon as we got to LA, he was like, "Yo, let's go to Compton." I was like, "No, bro."
Yeah, and Phyllis didn't know how to drive, so I was like, "You can." I was the only driver, so I was like, "You can go to Compton." I was like, "Go ahead."
What, nigga? We just got here and it's 10:30 p.m. Like, relax.
Yeah.
like, Felix, you're Mexican out here. Chill.
Yeah.
So I see that, but the representation is needed too at the same time. So it's a gift and a curse because when I hear shit like about 6 Mile or I hear 7 Mile or I hear about Gun Hill in the Bronx, it's like these very niche things for me that I'm like, oh shit, like, all right, I'm from here or I live here. It's cool. So you need that. So that takes us into the breakup skit, which is hilarious. Features Mike Epps. I had part of this like on my voicemail growing up. This is hilarious.
That doesn't surprise me whatsoever. Yeah.
I like Mike Epps a lot because he just reminds me of people that I grew up with, like somebody that's funny on the block. So then that takes us into
Why You Wanna.
Why You Wanna, man. Why You Wanna fucking smash. This flip for this beat is crazy. Nobody would have thought that something like this would work, and it did.
I mean, did I think it would? I'm not gonna say I didn't think it wouldn't work, but like when T.I. did it, like the production was so good, the beat was so fire. It just made all the sense in the world. And T.I. is such a smooth dude.
Yeah,
like he's a very smooth talker. So like I was just like, damn, man, this must be why Tiny always forgiving this nigga. The sample, by the way, is Crystal Waters' Gypsy Woman. I want to say she's homeless, but she's homeless. But yeah, this song worked. It was an obvious single on the album. There's not much else to say about it. Like it was a fucking hit.
But that's it. Coming from New York, like house is a big deal in New York.
Yeah.
Especially growing up with older siblings who were like of that era and time period where house was really like running clubs and all that. Like you weren't going out and hearing hip hop. You were hearing house music and freestyle and stuff. So like that's a song that I grew up with. And so just hearing that and I was like, no, he didn't.
What you also got to remember, like, HBC. There's 3 HBCUs in Atlanta, Georgia, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like in the 90s and in the 80s, like they had like a culmination of like everything because there were black kids coming from every part of the United States. So you got Chicago House, you got G-Funk coming from California, right? And then Hyphy coming from Northern California.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got hip hop, freestyle, and New York's house coming down to Atlanta. All that and a melting pot coming right there. And then all those people that like moved to Atlanta and stayed. And then T.I. does this song. Like I'm not saying like that's why it was such a smash, but like think about like Atlanta's become like a melting pot. So like, in Atlanta, when this song came on, like believe it or not, like I know like people don't see it that way, but like they love music from other regions. So T.I. flipping his sample absolutely was like a full on like go wizard with a question. Like T.I. was like, get in the booth now. Get in the booth now, shout
out. So that'll take us into Get It. Get It is produced by Swiss Beats. And it features Swiss Beats. This song is a mess.
It's a mess, and I'm just like, this was like the period when I was like, yo, I'm not going to, okay, this is with all due respect, but I was not sure.
The friend of the show.
Yeah, I wasn't sure, like, if, like, well, no, I'm going to say it like this. Like, what's the safe thing to say? Was Swiss, like, taking, like, Adderall to, like, really concentrate and, like, stay up and not fall asleep and shit to, like, get through, like, work? Because, like, this is, like, a very, like... You know, like listen to this shit with headphones on, like to scare you.
Yeah, this song is just, and it's badly placed. This song is a mess.
I think as Tia, when we spoke to Swizz and had the conversation with him, he said there were certain points where like there's certain things he wouldn't have redone. This is probably one of those.
It's probably one of those.
I don't think so. I think he's super proud. I think like Swizz just likes high octane, high energy records, and I think that like the more like it makes him bob his head, the more hype he gets. I just think he's a psychopath sometimes with some of his production.
Oh no, yeah, I don't think it's that he dislikes the beat. I think it's in when we spoke to him, I realized there's certain songs that he's like, I wouldn't have given them that song, or I wouldn't have used that song in that period. I think that's what I mean. Like, This is one of those.
Yeah. But yeah, we can move right on. So the next song is Top Back. Top Back is produced by Manny Fresh. Mm-hmm. This is one of my favorite beats in rap.
Yes.
I got a question. So every rapper has like their like song, right? Do you think that like, and that's their number one song? Like obviously it's some. I'm not saying like personal wise, like for you, but like, do you think that this is T.I.'s song, like just overall? You know how some rappers like it's undeniable, like it's just like like Biggie's Juicy, right? For Nas, I'm not sure for Nas would like. For me, I would think that it would be If I Ruled the World, but maybe I'm just saying that from my old age. But like certain rappers have like their signature song.
Yeah.
Do you think that this is T.I.'s song? Like, I know, like you think it's 24's or
it's probably Rubber Band Man.
Or Rubber Band Man.
Yeah,
I don't Rubber Band.
Biggest song?
When's last?
Nah.
No, I did not biggest song.
Well,
like their
okay.
signature song.
So like the song that people play from that person, if I don't know, say James was to do a set and he had to put a T.I. song in there, what's the T.I. song he would play?
I don't want to say it because I don't think it's his best song that drives us in, but I think it's probably that song. The Whatever You Like is probably more what. Or
that's a good point.
Or you're talking about Why You Wanna, or Why You Wanna would be probably thrown on in the party.
Live Your Life.
Live Your Life. Live Your Life is a number one song.
Yeah, Live Your Life.
Yeah. Live Your Life, because I think that was like his international hit.
Yeah.
But for me, strongly, I still feel like Top Back like would be like one of his. I feel like Top Back is like one of the closers for his when he's on tour.
Yeah, this beat
is very late in the
and
set.
the remix to it with
The
Jeezy.
BG on this
and BG
remix.
on the remix.
Got me
Man,
skating on nice
this
like
shit-
a Christy Yamaguchi.
This shit, this shit, like this beat is amazing. T.I. on a beat like this is just like
Couldn't tell
fucking
T.I.
heaven.
shit.
Wait, there was
And
somebody
Manny
else
Fresh
who
already
blacked on
being
the
one of my
remix
favorite
too.
producers.
Why can't I think of
Young Dro.
Dro?
Yeah.
I'm sitting. Is this the? No, that's. I'm thinking the.
You think it's Shoulder Lean?
Nah, I'm thinking Fly High, where he was eating the blowfish sushi.
Oh yeah. I think that's what that was.
Wait, I think I said.
But But this song is just so perfect. Like the thump is insane. It sounds so triumphant. It's just amazing. And I was so mad when Manny Fresh went against Scott Storch in that versus because he dropped this and he didn't drop it properly. He just nothing was working for him. And outside of that, Scott Storch was doing a lot of shit that he co-produced, and like he just couldn't win that.
Yeah, I just think also it's just
Scott Storch and Coke won that night.
Yeah, so he got the best of them, but Top Back is one of my favorite beats ever. That takes us into I'm Straight.
I don't like this song on the album at all. I could do without it.
I'm Straight has like it has a lot of people that everyone on this song I fuck with. You got BG and Jeezy.
Nah, I enjoy. Okay, I enjoyed it. I mean, it just wasn't. I don't need it.
I kind of really just fucked with BG on here heavy, but I already know I'm a BG stan. So
yeah, I like BG a lot.
Courtney wants us to do chopping.
I'm all
the way for that too.
Actually.
Yeah, I'm all the way for that.
But that'll take us into Undertaker. Undertaker features Young Dro, Young Buck, and DJ Drama.
Son, it's like a lot of people don't know like T.I. and the PSC mixtapes were like a really big deal, and like DJ Drama being a part of Grand Hustle and everything was like a really big deal. It was pretty much like Desert Storm in the South. Mm-hmm. And I thought that like hearing him on record, because like T.I. and like DJ Drama, like they didn't fall out, but like they kind of like started doing their own thing. So it was good to hear like Drama on the album. That was just really dope to me, and like I was like really like, damn, like I really thought like that they were gonna like do like I had it in my head, like I was one of those kids that like certain artists, like I would have like a vision in my head, and because at that time Jay-Z was supposed to be fucking retired, I just had this vision in my head that like, yo, okay, so T.I.'s gonna do it. The Pimp Squad clique is fucking dope. T.I. like he had a good roster at Grand Hustle as well, in my opinion. So I just thought that like him and DJ Drama was gonna do what Hov and DJ Clue didn't do. Mm-hmm. My assumption. I mean, and they still wound up becoming wildly successful and doing wildly great things, but I thought they would do it together.
I think that was a very common thing. I think also because there was the kind of cosign from Jay, it was like, oh, you're the southern version of you, and I feel like a lot of people try to play into that more so with him.
I think Swizz Beatz was like one of the first people to call him the Jay-Z of the South.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. But that takes us into Stand Up Guy. I hate this song.
I hate this song.
This song sucks. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. It's so cheesy.
So much. So ass.
We can go right into the next one. Next one is You Know Who. This beat is hard.
Yo, Jason Jeter, man.
Yeah, this
I didn't I forgot, like, cause Jason Jeter's his fucking manager.
Oh yeah, I didn't know that.
So I was just like, whoa. Okay.
I didn't know that. And this joint is produced by Travis Barker too, by the way, and Tony Galvin.
Shout out to Travis Barker, man. He just got engaged to Kourtney Kardashian.
This is the beginning of that little Travis Barker doing all the rock remixes.
Yeah.
Or not rock remixes. He would jump on hip hop beats that
and just give it some drums.
But you would always be surprised, like, how does Travis Barker know about this artist or this song?
He worked in the music industry, and he was a fan of hip hop.
But the misconception is, or rather, the conception is from I think the uneducated listener is, oh, he's a rock star, he's Blink-182, he's in the pop rock world, he's not going to be listening. And I think when you know music and you know musicians and how they're percussionists and how they catch anything with a drum beat, they're going to pay attention to it. That's just something we know. But at the time, I don't think many people thought
glad
it.
I knew more musically inclined people.
He worked his way out of that back then. He worked his way out of being boxed in with those type of people back then.
His famous stars had me in a chokehold at that time. His clothing brand.
Yeah.
Had me in a fucking headlock.
That'll take us into Good Life. Good Life is produced by the Neptunes. It features Common. It's a very odd song to me. I don't know what it is. I like it, but like the production is very like, I don't know.
I need more T.I. and Pharrell.
Yeah, I needed less Common, I felt like.
Yeah, I really I don't know. This song is odd, but T.I. and Pharrell haven't missed, honestly.
At all.
They haven't missed.
Only
Freak, though, is one of my favorite songs.
Only person that could stop him was Marvin Gaye's Estate.
Marvin Gaye's estate can stop anybody. It's not getting past them.
Fucking Matumbo.
Yeah, so that's followed by Hello. Hello features Geo Washington. It's a great sample that's produced by Cowell.
I have it as featuring Governor.
You know what I wrote in my notes
Governor.
for this song?
What's up?
Man, fuck this song.
Man, fuck this song. It does. But it's a great sample, right? But yeah, the song ain't really.
No.
This is the tail end.
Yeah, this is where the album's officially lost a lot of steam at this point. Like this is probably the low.
This is
because I think it picks back up.
it does
With the next song.
Yeah.
No.
Next song I like. Next song is "Told You So." It has this reminiscent trap music feel to it that I like. Early T.I.
Told You So is dope because it's him like doing his brag shit, and you know he is like a supremely confident gentleman. So hearing him just talk his shit on the album, like opposed to like you know how some artists do their thank yous, he basically was just out just popping shit to niggas, and I thought that was dope. It's just you know I love Tip, man. Like he's an awesome dude. I'll never forget when I met him at the screening of Gerard Carmichael's his show.
Same.
And fucking I was with you and Eli were there, but I was with Cleverly Chloe and Taki Bond. And Chloe wanted to meet T.I. and Taki was standing with me, so Taki wanted to meet T.I. and Chloe did. So obviously I'm not gonna say nothing for Taki. So I was just like, yo, Tip. I told him where I met him and everything. He was like, oh, cool. And then I was like, this is my friend. He thought I was going to say Taki. I was like, no. My friend Chloe, would you like to take a picture? He was like, all right, cool, partner. And he took the picture. And then Taki was like, hey, I want to take a picture. And T.I. was like, not no damn pictures right now. And ever since, Taki Bond has hated that man and gone on and say
I got a
that
picture.
T.I.
I got a picture with T.I. that night, too.
and go on and say that T.I. is not the godfather of trap music. Till this day, if you follow Taki Bond on social media, he says that Young Jeezy is because T.I. slighted him that night, and I just wanted to tell that story because it was fucking hilarious.
Not no damn pictures.
We should also, if you get a chance, go harass Taki. It was just his birthday, and but also tell him he's fucking delusional for any takes he has in music. Period.
That seems fair. Shout out to Taki. The next and last song, this album wraps up with Bankhead. It features Young Dro and PSC.
What a fucking album closer. And to do it with all of his mans that was on his label that he was trying to prop up, I love the Pimp Squad clique. I think them niggas knew like they wasn't really gonna do much, but like the fact that like T.I. like really held those niggas down and made opportunities for them. They're all businessmen now. I think it was fucking dope. I think it was fire, and I love this song. Like I played. If I had my old iPod, like it would be embarrassed. Like this song and "Stronger" by Kanye West got played so much in my old iPod.
No, yeah, this is I love when the cliques like make a posse cut for themselves. Like it always goes. There aren't that many that I don't like. This is a good closer. What you think?
No, it's a great closer. As you guys said, it's the click, and it's also like I said. By the time we know who all these guys are, so having to hear them is always an extra thing. They're not that great, and then Dro is Dro. Dro, I feel, is one of the most underrated rappers that didn't do it.
It's not a color he can't describe.
Pineapple suckers,
Bro.
It's not a color that man can't describe yet.
I didn't want to eat blowfish sushi till he said it.
Dro. I'm cleaning this bitch.
Yeah. But it just sounded amazing. And he was sitting in a Chevy eating it. Like, that doesn't even sound... If it's a dangerous fish to eat, why are you not eating it in the restaurant and you just chilling in a Chevy eating it, is what I want to know.
Because it looks more fucking baller. But that brings us to the conclusion of this album. Danny, what's your rating?
I'm going to go to 3.
God damn.
Okay.
Because the steam it loses, it really you're on a high for most of the album, and then I'll go 3.5 because it's no because a majority of the album, most of the album, you're enjoying and you're bopping to until the end. There's that dip, and it's only for like 3 songs out of 20 songs Out of 18
18
songs, three out of. So it's like, all right, it deserves a little more than just a good album because it's a great album. It's an album I could still listen to. I thoroughly enjoyed listening to it for this podcast. So I'm gonna go with a 3.5.
Okay. And
I go 4 out of 5. This was just like a continuation of an impressive run that T.I. was going on at this point in time, and the fact that he followed up his proclamation of being the king of the South and the name of the album King, I just thought was dope, and I think it was also a homage to Rev Run, you know what I'm saying, calling himself the king of rock, calling himself that nigga at that time. Slick Rick calling himself the ruler. Rakim calling himself Rakim Allah. You know what I'm saying? He was just following in the footsteps of MCs that came before him, and him having ties to New York, understanding sometimes you gotta take it and then accept all challenges, which he did. And he kind of proved it. He was the face of the South. When people thought of the South, if they were from New York, they just thought T.I. They just looked at the whole map and was just a circle. That's the South.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I feel like this album is the proclamation of there was nobody in New York. I felt like at this point you were just clearly hating if you said T.I. wasn't nice, and I feel like it was a turning point in New York fandom where we understood that this is a person who's rapping about drug stuff the way we kind of rap about it. You could tell he was influenced by the same influences, but he is not a New York it's the beginning of the New York bias starting to lose its foothold.
Y'all stop. People in New York stop calling crack houses.
Yes.
Calling them traps.
Yes. Yes.
Think about that. Oh, but
well, so for me, I give it a 3.5. I think this album was very strong, and I think it's a really high point for T.I. This was the culmination of everything that he talked about from the very beginning of his career, from I'm Serious all the way to 2006 with this, and it was just no denying it. And I think he waited to the proper time to come out with this and work with the people that he did. But it's like Danny said, there are a lot of short moments on this album, but there's some strong ones too. And T.I. has a really strong ear for production that I really like. At one point, he was in my top 10. There was no denying this guy for me. I was a huge fan of T.I. He wasn't able to keep that momentum going, but that's not relative to this piece. This is a great album. It just has some short moments for me.
I also think it's circumstances, not because of his talent. It was positions he found himself in.
Well, yeah.
Why his
yeah. But
I think
some of the positions, that it found him in, some of those same positions got him bigger as an artist. Because Paper Trail was huge. After he did a bid, he came back and it was huge. But he just couldn't keep doing that. Because T.I. versus T.I.P., he got into some shit. That was still a good big moment for him. And those moments just kept being repetitive.
I feel like Paper Trail is such a drastic change in his style of presentation and writing.
Yeah, it is.
Where once he was free of those situations that he had to endure post that situation, when he had more freedom, he was already a different person. So it wasn't going to be the same content regardless if he wanted to go back to that.
What were you going to say?
It's just funny, all of the trouble that he's gotten into. It's just really funny. He got locked up before the BET Awards for trying to buy a trunk full of guns.
Yeah. Outside of that shit. I think Cat Williams was hosting that shit.
Yeah, how Cat Williams was hosting it. He was the one who announced it on stage. That was infamous because that shit was filmed live. So that while that happened, everybody was like, is it true T.I. got locked up? And then weeks before that, remember all that shit happened with the dude Alpha Mega? And then they found out he was a fucking informant.
I thought that yeah. Because I forgot he got in trouble so many times. It was right after one of the times he got in trouble that the Alpha Mega
it was just a bunch of crazy shit, man.
But that'll bring us to the conclusion of this album. Very big standout album from T.I. This is the culmination of like I said, it was everything he talked about, and he did it big, man. I'm First Class Regg,
and I'm Taurian B.
We out of here.
Peace.
In the criminal justice system, the people are represented by two separate yet equally important groups: the police who investigate crime, and the district attorneys who prosecute the offenders. These are their stories.